Well, welcome to the College of Global Futures transfer student event that we have, and we're really happy to have you here. We're going to introduce you as we go through the presentation to our different team members that we have. These are just a few of our team members. Bridget is out traveling, making a difference in the world, and then I'll allow Michael to go ahead and introduce himself.
So I'm Michael. I am not traveling. So I am with Student Services, and it's nice to meet you. And again, I will send you an email with that contact information. So if you do want to set up that tour, we'd love to have you.
And my name is Nicole, and yes, Michael does make a difference. I think each of us in our different roles, and that's why we invited all these people from our team to come to present to you today.
I was from Peoria, Arizona.
Peoria, okay, yeah, that's right. And you attend Glendale Community College.
Yes.
Sure. So in the College of Global Futures, we have 3 schools, and we're going to focus on the School of Sustainability and the School for the Future of Innovation Society, because those ones are the ones that have undergraduate programs right now. And you had mentioned that you're interested specifically in the School of Sustainability. We can answer any questions that you might have about the School of Sustainability, and as well as any of the other schools as well. So please feel free to ask away, okay?
One of the big, huge things that we want to talk about for the college is that we're really working hard to prepare our students. We know there's different challenges and problems going on right now, but we are working to develop, to ensure social benefits of powerful new technologies and creating a just and sustainable future. And I know you mentioned how you're really interested on the social aspect of sustainability.
We have our campuses spread throughout the valley here. So the major campus is, the biggest one is in Tempe. We also have a campus in downtown Phoenix, and we have a smaller campus out in the East Valley. So one of the things that we suggest students do is, if you're interested, to check out these other campuses, see which ones kind of fit better for you, because we find sometimes students like the smaller campus out in the East Valley versus the larger campus out in Tempe. But it's kind of an individual thing. And we also have online campus as well. So if you're interested in taking some courses online, that's a possibility for you as well.
And just to kind of go over what we'll be discussing today with you, we kind of just went over kind of talking about the college. We also have a team member here who's going to talk about how to get involved, when coming here to a bigger school. We want you to understand like what kind of events we have and clubs. And we're also going to be have one of our team members talk about popular degrees here and the transfer process and transferring credits. And then we're going to go into internships, careers. We'll also give time to our current student who was a transfer student herself as well, Julia Starzinski. And then we'll have time for questions and answers. And then just kind of a quick overview of what you can do to prepare as you're starting to look to spring 2022. Is there anything in particular that you're wanting to come here to learn more about, so we know what we can kind of focus on?
Well, obviously, I will be studying online only.
Okay.
So any ways to connect and become a part of community online would be appreciated. Yeah, that'd be lovely.
Okay, perfect.
I'm interested in sustainable design for buildings. New Zealand is sadly far behind when it comes to insulation and good windows, all those sorts of things. So that's why I'm interested in the program.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for sharing that with us. Happy to have you here.
Cheers.
Interested up to you. I think you said to get involved too, right, Madeline?
Yeah, and just the sustainability, the bachelor's, like just more in general, I guess, and the society and sustainability track.
Okay, all right. I'm going to go ahead and introduce you to another of our team members. We have Abby Graves. She's the Assistant Manager of Undergraduate Student Engagement and Academic Services, and she'll be kind of going over semester events and ways to get involved. Abby?
So depending on the semester that you start, if you are in person starting in the fall semester, you usually get the biggest kind of hoorah with the big fall welcome and a lot of fairs and tabling opportunities where there are just groups and departments seeking your attention, getting you to sign up to get invitations on to things happening throughout the year. We do a camp with our new students that start in the fall semester at our campus-based programs. Fortunately, our online students, it's hard to get everybody to travel to the same place. So we do alternative activities that the online students can come get together, meet each other, meet some of the student services staff, and then we will continue doing hybrid and virtual and online engagement as we can throughout the academic year. If you're in person, we have a big homecoming celebration that happens in the fall semester. There's a parade and a block party and a football game. I don't know if you're into football, but it's kind of a big deal here. And even if you're really not into the game, there's a whole lot of like kind of party atmosphere that's happening, and that you get to be exposed to a lot of the other departments and see what cool stuff ASU has going on. So it's usually a good time, even if you're not interested in the football game. Family weekend is another fall event that you can have your parents, your siblings, friends, whoever you wanted to come hang out on campus for a while, see the classrooms that you get to be a student in, explore the campus a little bit, and then there are activities throughout a whole weekend for family weekend. And then in the spring semester, there's an involvement fair, which is much like something called the Passport to ASU that happens in the fall, but it's a smaller version of it that happens in the spring. This spring coming up, it'll be in mid-January. And then in February, there's always something called Open Door. And this is, again, kind of a showcase of all of the ASU departments and activities that they have going on. Friends, family, anyone is invited. And then we in the Sustainability and Global Futures realm always appreciate the Earth Month celebrations that happen in April. It's kind of a really great time to show off what our student groups have been doing, students have been doing in their research and their internships. There's always a bunch of showcases, honors theses, defenses, and then graduation at the end of the spring semester, kind of to cap it off. Lots of stuff going on all the time. If you want to get involved with clubs, there's a portal called Sun Devil Sync. If you just search ASU Sun Devil Sync, you'll be able to connect with a bunch of different student organizations. For the sustainability students, there's a few that are really active. Sustainability Buddies pairs people with returning students based on interest and involvement experience. Barrett Sustainability Club is open to students of any major, but is housed within the Barrett community. And then it's Campus Student Sustainability Initiatives, or CSSI, is a campus-based group that works on sustainability projects. Gardens at ASU, kind of similarly, but their niche focus area are campus garden areas. For students that are a little bit more advanced and maybe looking for a bit more of professional networking and skill development, the Honor Society for Sustainability really wants to connect you with a network that is concerned about our resumes on point. We have good interview skills. We have good LinkedIn profiles. We want to recognize each other for doing great work. They've got a small application fee that when it goes into their collective pool, they have a nomination and scholarship that they award to students. Greenlight Solutions is a team that is actually accepting students from any campus all over the world. They have international students that joining them now, and they will put you together in a project team. They have kind of a rigorous expectation of training that you go through to be essentially a student paraprofessional consultant with a partner organization. And then you work with that partner. And at the end of the semester, you talk about the UN development goals that you were really trying to focus on, the deliverables that you worked with creating for the organization. And then you had this great presentation experience at the end of it. So Greenlight Solutions is a great team to get involved with. And then elected to represent our student population and help get people get connected to faculty, staff, our leadership is our College Council. They usually will coordinate a welcome event. Madeline, thanks for your question. I'll get to that in just a second. The College Council is specifically for College of Global Future students. They'll have a welcome event. They usually do some sort of activity where you get to meet with the deans and leadership. They have had a traditional finals event at the end of each semester, just something fun. And then the last club listed here is Supper Club, and this is specifically aimed to getting online students an opportunity to meet each other. And we come together to talk about food because that is something we all have in common. We all need to eat. We have a slightly different theme to each Supper Club event, but that happens monthly and everyone is invited. As far as how these clubs are regulated by major, Honor Society for Sustainability has rules about having either a degree in or you're pursuing a degree in or have a minor in sustainability to be able to join. So it is a little bit limited. Greenlight Solutions will accept anybody. Our College Council, I mentioned, is an elected group within our college. So that's kind of niche area. And then going back to those new student clubs, the sustainabilities really only works with sustainability students, whereas CSSI, the Barrett Club, and the Gardens Club will accept anyone from any major. You don't even have to have sustainability as like part of your degree. They just want you to come work on projects and hang out with each other, because they usually have some overlapping interests beyond what they just do at the club. So I'll leave it at that. That's a lot of information. Mostly, I just want to say there's something out there for everyone. And even if you don't want something sustainability related, just, you want a running club or a club that watches movies or something. There's tons of social organizations as well. So Sun Devil Sync is one of the ways that you could use some keywords to find some of those clubs. And I'd highly recommend just looking up their social media accounts, because then you can really get a sense of how active they are. So yeah, let me know if you have more questions about that.
Thank you so much, Abby, for sharing that. Yeah, and feel free to ask any questions in the chat, or you feel free to unmute yourself.
Did you say is the campus student sustainability initiatives, is that for everyone?
Yeah, they'll accept students from any major. They just want you to work on a sustainability project.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And sustainability buddies, that's like, if you're like a major in sustainability.
That's who they hope to work with most closely. I don't think that if you came with your friend who was a sustainability member to an event that they would be like, oh no, this is not for you. But they really want to pair like an incoming sustainability major with a returning sustainability major to answer questions that you might not want to talk to an advisor about, but you're curious about the degree program. Like your advisor might not tell you like gossip about the faculty that your peers might tell you. You know what I mean? It's kind of more specific to your experience as a sustainability major, and that's kind of their focus area, is making those connections.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, sorry, I missed what you said the club was. Okay, I got it now. Sorry.
Yeah, and if you're in a different major, a lot of colleges and organizations are going to have very similar kind of peer mentoring opportunities where you can get paired up with either somebody who's employed with the university as some type of mentor, or their student organizations that pair you up with returning students. So
cool.
Yeah,
thank you.
Great, thank you for those questions. Really happy to see how this material is kind of resonating with you. We'll kind of move along here. So we're going to go to Beth Volker. She is the Assistant Director of Undergraduate Academic Services, and she is actually head of our academic advising group. And she'll be talking about popular majors, what you can do to get done before you're coming to the institution, and then also transferring to ASU. Beth?
Hi, thanks, Nicole. These are the programs that we offer for undergraduate students in the College of Global Futures. I know that you are already admitted to sustainability and have met with Hannah and kind of talked about the program a little bit. We also offer a Bachelor of Science in Sustainability, and we do have sustainable food systems as well. We also have programs in innovation and society. So a Bachelor of Science, a Bachelor of Arts. We have seen students pair those programs together successfully in the past as well. And they are all offered online. And for students who don't want quite so high a dosage of sustainability, but are still very interested. So maybe Madeline, if you're interested in bringing sustainability into whatever major you're pursuing, we do have a couple of certificates. So you could study a little bit more in depth about energy. It's primarily policy, but a little bit of energy science as well. There's a food systems certificate that is soon going to go away, but they are replacing it with a minor in sustainable food systems. And we do have a minor in innovation and society and a certificate in innovation for impact as well. In the School of Complex Adaptive Systems, which is our newest school in the college, they don't have undergraduate degree programs yet, but they do offer a certificate in biomimicry. So if that's something that you are interested in, please feel free to reach out to us to talk more about that. At the bottom, you can see that there are 4+1 programs as well. And so a 4+1 program would allow you to complete a bachelor's degree and a master's program in 5 years instead of a traditional kind of 6-year track to do a program like that. It's a little bit harder for transfers, just because we need to be very careful as you're coming into the program, knowing that this is something that you want to do so that we make sure that you're going to meet the requirements at the time that you would apply to it. But if that's something that you have an interest in, we are definitely happy to talk about that.
Yes, I'm just not sure if Bachelor of Arts in Sustainability is the best program for me to be in based on what I want to do. So
tell me, I know that you mentioned that you were interested, was Was it in building? Can you tell me a little bit more about what you're interested
Yes,
in again?
or in building design specifically.
Well, I mean, the Bachelor of Arts and the Bachelor of Science are both going to really give you kind of the same foundational education. There's very few differences between the two. We do have a track in the Bachelor of Arts that is sustainable urban dynamics. And so you'd be learning about urbanization, which I know would probably, talk about building. It might not be as in-depth as possibly what you're looking for. The Bachelor of Science has an energy, materials, and technology track, and they also would probably, give you some insight into building materials and things like that. But we could certainly have a conversation in an advising appointment if you wanted to talk with us about exactly what you want to do and exactly what you're going to get out of the program that you're currently signed up for. We could have that conversation for sure.
Awesome, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, I think I'm ready for my next slide. Okay, tips for transferring and advice. If you have questions, at this point, you've probably been working with an enrollment advisor, you've been working with the recruiters, and now that you're admitted to the program, it's probably time to work with an advisor at this point, because we're going to be able to answer questions about the curriculum and what you want to get out of the program. We can talk about the transfer coursework that you've completed, how it's counting toward your degree. We are here now at this point to kind of guide you through the program and making decisions about the program and the things that you're going to do. Courses that you've taken at your current institution, I know that you've already transferred at this point. So, we'll take a look at the things that you've done. The nice thing about the programs in the College of Global Futures is they are very transfer friendly. We get a lot of transfer students, and typically students are able to finish the program. If you were going full-time each semester, or if you're planning to incorporate summers, you're able to get through this program within a couple years to finish it out. We'll take a look at what you've completed at your current institution and help you see how that applies toward these degree programs and let you see what you have left. But like I said, they're very transfer friendly. Yes. I guess a couple other things that I would say about advising are just that we do have 4 advisors who are here to work with all of our students. Anytime that you have questions, you're assigned to a primary key point person that you'll see in My ASU. You are welcome to meet with any one of us. That's how we try to make sure that we have enough availability to meet all of the needs of every student. And if you're interested in a minor, the minor in sustainability is very interesting in that it's considered, we call it a university-owned minor. So that means that every advisor at the university advises for the minor in sustainability because it's that big a deal at ASU. And so you can work directly with your major advisor if you have questions about that minor. But otherwise, it's very nice to hear from both of you, and I hope that you're getting some great information from this program.
Thank you so much, Beth. Appreciate that. Very helpful about the programs. All right, we're going to go ahead and move into internship portion. We have Caroline Savell, who is Assistant Director of Internships and Experiential Experiences, and she'll be talking about academic learning, practical experience, internships, and resources. Caroline?
Hi there, my name is Caroline. Welcome to ASU in our informational presentation. Yeah, so I do internships. That is the main thing that I do for College of Global Futures students. School of Sustainability students are required to complete an internship as part of their undergraduate degree program. So that is the largest audience of students that I work with. But we do have students in the other schools completing internships as well, either for credit or for the experience of doing the internship. What can I tell you? So School of Sustainability students have to complete a 4-credit-hour internship. This can be in any type of location. Students will intern in companies, for example, such as corporate social responsibility internships. People might intern in a more scientific field, such as in laboratories or water analysis, or environmental organizations such as Department of Environmental Qualities, cities, schools in terms of sustainability education, and so on. So there are a lot of different opportunities for students to participate in. You can see here on the slide, I've got a few resources listed. We do have Sustainability Connect. That is an internship posting site that we run here locally within the College of Global Futures. And I'm just gonna paste the link here so you can check that out. I post opportunities as they come through. International internships, sure. I mean, you can do an internship wherever you are. So that could mean you are living outside of the US and you do an internship where you are. So that would be like, you could do an internship there in New Zealand and register for credit, or students could do an internship internationally from where they are. So, you know, a student in the US could go to England and do an internship. Or we also have a program called Global Virtual Internships, which is kind of a cool option because you get to do an sort of international internship, but you don't have to go anywhere. So those are a few different options. But yeah, for your particular situation, you would do your internship there in New Zealand where you are, or you could do a remote internship because that's another option for students. So Sustainability Connect is just one source to find internship opportunities. You will hear about Handshake if you haven't already. That is the ASU university-wide job and internship posting site where employers will post job and internships for all over the country and sometimes internationally, but usually domestically. So that's something else that you can check out. I do have a Google site, which I can share with you as well. This talks more about the specific requirement in case you want to check it out. I'm going to repost that Sustainability Connect link because I'm not sure it went through. And then also I support students through the whole process. So if you just want to talk to me initially about, okay, what's an internship? What do I need to be looking for? How do I get my resume and cover letter updated? How do I prepare for this? When should I do it? All kinds of questions related to that. I'm happy to meet with you and answer any questions. Oh, it's Marsha. So I guess that's it for me. Does anybody have any questions for me at the moment?
I don't think we have any questions right now, do we?
Great. Thanks.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Caroline. Right now, we're going to move into the jobs aspect of this experience. And we have Marcia Gonzaga, who's the Assistant Director of Career Services and Alumni Engagement. She'll be speaking on alumni career examples, career infused across programs and resources. Marcia?
Thank you, Nicole. Well, it's nice to meet you. My role is basically to serve the College of Global Futures, and knowing that my title is the Assistant Director of Career Services and Alumni Engagement, really it's ultimately to focus on supporting you. So you might have heard the saying, it's a job to find a job. Well, that's the reason why I have my job. That's the whole purpose, because my career is about helping you with your own career. And from the most recent College of Global Futures Alumni Employment Survey, 94% of alumni that responded are employed or pursuing continuing education. It's really impressive to know that, like, of those respondents that are employed, over 70% have jobs directly related to the degree, which is like triple what is just the general major or other majors generally. In this next slide, you're going to see that the different examples from this alumni employment survey, you're going to see different examples of what our alumni are doing. I'm going to assume that the goal of you pursuing your degree here at Arizona State University is to increase your chances of pursuing a career related to your education. So it could be any one of these. But this honestly is great news for you, since a majority of our alumni are doing something that is across the range of SDGs. That's across the range of sustainability, and it's global. And with the growth of the programs within our own College of Global Futures, we have programs in place to connect our students and alumni to enhance those networking opportunities, not only locally, domestically, but globally, which I'll share later. But regardless, here's a sampling of those careers. And I think for you, it's just understand that some of these companies with the range that is the job titles, it's amazing. And I worked with the School of Sustainability starting in 2016, and just seeing the trends of changing. I think somebody was mentioning they had an interest in more of the social side. I'm seeing that trending. Building is definitely huge if you think about supply chain. So I feel like it covers there's just so many opportunities within sustainability. So it's a very exciting time. Not something that is just greenwashing is kind of out, because people are smart with where they invest their dollars, and they're going to research on these companies. They want to see proof of work, of how sustainability initiatives are being applied and kind of the results from that. So I like knowing that our students are working in all sorts of different companies, all sorts of different industries, pretty much cover the gamut. A couple of things I do want to mention, because the statistics aren't necessarily on this specific slide when it comes to sustainability, is the fact that 92% of our sustainability specific undergraduate alumni are either employed or in graduate school. That just specific, not just the college and the numbers I was sharing with you earlier, but specific to sustainability, which both of you were sharing an interest in. I just know that that trend is going to continue to increase as opportunities, and we're coming off, hopefully completely coming off of COVID, but whatever that might look like. But there's more opportunities being created, not only working on site, but even working from home to support companies' sustainability initiatives. So, and the trend in regards to what I shared earlier, a majority of those that are employed are also working in something directly related to their major, and it's right at 70%. So again, I've served the school, initially the School of Sustainability, but I transitioned my role to serve all three schools. And so in this next slide, you're going to see how I support the school in different ways. And so I consider myself a human resource versus human resources, so that I can support your journey as a student. So if you choose to come to the College of Global Futures, and specifically, if you're looking at any one of the schools, you're going to see here's just a few ways that I can support your career development. And I consider myself more of like a specialist versus a generalist. There is ASU's Career Services, if you see on that bottom right of the slide. They serve all of students. They serve the entire ASU enterprise, where I speak specifically on those schools within our college. So you'll see career advising come in resumes, cover letters, job search strategy, LinkedIn profile, and interview prep, and a number of different things as well. But I also act as a liaison for employers to share job opportunities. So across the programs, there's also curriculum offered to support your career development. Gosh, we even have career events called Careers Going Forward to help you network and understand the current trends as told by industry professionals. And also, additionally, we have LinkedIn groups for students and alumni to connect, and these are exclusive to the schools. And then we have a job share program, and SHARE stands for Students Here Alumni Real World Experiences. So we're basically matching up students based upon similar interests that they have with our alumni, so that they have an opportunity to do an informational interview. And I see a question in the chat. Are you seeing a significant increase in remote roles availability for sustainability consultants? Yes, I am, without doubt.
Oh, sorry. I was wondering if I could hear more about, you mentioned something about trending, like how they're applying it in like different like social aspects too. Like,
can you repeat that?
Oh, sorry. You said earlier, since I was also interested in social work, like how you saw trends in people applying sustainability towards something social.
Yes, if you're looking at jobs right now in respect to sustainability, you might see job titles that say specifically ESG, which is environmental, social, and governance. And you typically see those kind of in higher level positions, meaning that they might be a C-suite level position, but I've seen more recently ESG analysts, ESG associates versus somebody that's focused on CSR, corporate social responsibility. Those typically are housed at a higher level, but now they're supporting kind of the ESG, if you will. And I'm sorry if I'm throwing all these acronyms at you, but one thing you'll notice is when you do a search on sustainability jobs, you'll see the reference of ESG, and social is part of that. And that increase really happened following social justice movement. A lot of companies are really wanting to focus on how they can support their employees and also their customers and their clients. That's where I'm seeing more of the companies in itself whenever you see ESG, I've seen more of the trend of the S being a focus, but if anything, there's still opportunities when it comes to environmental and governance. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Also, have you ever heard of someone doing like social work like with sustainability at all?
Yes. And what that would look like, I'm trying to think of a specific example. I don't have I can see it as coming in, like if you were to work for a state, let's say that you're working for the state of Arizona and you're working on community building. We even have a class that's focused on happy neighbor. What is the class called exactly? I'm going to butcher it, but it's basically focused on happiness in the neighborhood and building that community resilience. And so I can see the social side or the social aspect of that coming from like a city or even it could be a state, but I can definitely see that within the social work, if you will, housed out of sustainability to support a resilient community.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah. Well,
Great
if you have any
question.
questions, yeah, that was a great question. If you have any additional questions, pass them our way too. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Marcia. And then one thing that Beth put in the chat here is that Sustainability 498 is called Sustainable Neighborhoods for Happiness. And I think that's taught by
Scott Cloutier. That's what I was going to say.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Marcia. Without further delay, we would love for you to have the experience of speaking to one of our students here in the College of Global Futures, who's actually a sustainability major herself and was also a transfer student. Her name is Julia Sterzinski, and she is going to share her experience of coming to transferring to ASU, share some of her tips of what to expect in making the best of your 2 years, and what are some good tips to form those relationships with faculty and staff, and also your fellow students. And feel free to ask Julia any sort of questions. And Julia, we're happy to have you here, and go ahead and take it away.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for the introduction. I'm Julia Starzinski. I'm currently a senior obtaining a Bachelor of Science in Sustainability. I have a minor in political science, and my track for sustainability is the economics track. I was a transfer student from another university, and so I'm just kind of here to provide a student perspective for any other questions that you have at the end of this presentation. For some suggestions on kind of entering ASU and the College of Global Futures is really just to get involved right away. One thing I noticed as a transfer student is that the 2 years really do go by fast, especially in like COVID times and when we were online for a semester. I really just feel like it's really important to take advantage of the time that you do have, especially if you are on campus. Just as a student in general, I always think it's really important to stay organized, having to-do lists. ASU's Canvas portal for students does a great job of providing a calendar that keeps all of your assignments organized. So I definitely would say to rely on that so you keep up with your due dates. One thing I will add, since we were talking about the social aspect of sustainability, I definitely encourage, well, you do have to do internships in the program, but having multiple, and so you can kind of explore the different parts of sustainability you might be interested in. This past semester, I did an internship with a company called, it's the Tempe Community Action Agency. And for me, that was a very social part of the sustainability program. And it was focusing on enhancing dignity and self-reliance in economically vulnerable communities. And so we worked with a food shelter, food pantry, had one of the largest homeless shelters in Tempe. And so also working on how we can make those environments more sustainable based off of the food we bring in. And so I think in the program, you'll see how easy it is to incorporate your interests and sustainability too. There's a lot of options for that. Yes, if you have any other questions at the end of this presentation or want to bring anything else up, I'd be happy to answer anything for you guys.
Thank you, Julia, for sharing that. One question I do have that we could probably leave our guests with too is, considering that you were a transfer student, what are some pieces of advice that you wish you knew at that point of stage that they are about to matriculate into ASU that you wish you knew coming into ASU?
Yeah, I definitely think it's important to recognize that ASU is just a different environment from other learning environments we've been in the past. And so it's important for if you take like an introduction course or just your first few weeks in ASU to really take the advice of either counselors or like introduction courses of how to be successful in this environment. And then also starting to build connections with not only like your advisors, but peers and your professors. I know over Zoom, when we had classes like that, it was actually really nice to see that you can still build connections online. So utilizing the Zoom chat features, and then also through Canvas, you can see the students that are in your class. And it was really nice that a lot of students had actually reached out to form online study groups, even though we weren't on campus. And so there are a lot of opportunities to just build those connections, even if you do obtain a degree online.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Julia.
Yeah.
Well, I also want to be mindful of the time too. So what we'll do is we'll go through the last few slides. Feel free to submit your questions. Thank you, Julia. Some recommendations for next steps. We encourage you, if you haven't applied, to apply. You can send your transcripts to ASU. And also important link you want to keep bookmarked is transfer.asu.edu. And because you're a transfer student, once you do get accepted, you do have access to a transfer coordinator. And so that's always a great thing to have there, in addition to the other people that we've been able to introduce you to today. Hard to making a financial plan and work hard to get those good grades. And that will kind of help prepare here to come academically, and also your GPA will be great. And then also connect the recruitment team. We are here, we're going to give you our contact information towards the end. And just some of the topics that you have look forward to in some of your classes. These are some of the topics discussed mainly in School for Future Innovation in Society. But since most of our guests here are school sustainability, here are some topics that are discussed in classes. And I'm sure Julia has a lot of experience in speaking on these different themes here. Definitely has that social aspect, and also interest in helping build better, more sustainable buildings, topics of discussion during classes. And in closing, here is our contact information. Feel free to take a screenshot of this. I have our phone number here, our email addresses. We're here to help answer any questions that you might have. And in closing, I want to thank each one of our team members who are here to speak on their different area of work that they do here. They are very talented in what they do, and we're all here to serve you in our different capacities and roles. Just in closing, see if there's any questions.
I had a question. I was wondering, all the topics that, looking at sustainability, like major maps, like all the topics in the classes seem really interesting. And I was just wondering like how, because I know sustainability can, I mean, I guess it depends on like what track you do and like the internships and stuff you get like that. But I know in general, or like at least to me, it seems kind of broad, which is nice though, I think, like with the environmental, social, and economic like stuff. But I was kind of wondering like in the classes you take, how that's also all like applied to, or is it pretty much just through like the internships and stuff you do? Did that make any sense? Sorry, I don't know what I was trying to say now that I think about it.
So you're kind of probably wondering, is it just things that you're learning in the book, or do you actually get like real life experience? Is that kind of what you're asking about?
Yeah, I was wondering how it's applied, like how I guess how employers will look at the degree of sustainability as well. I guess, is it just kind of like you choose the experiences you get through college? Like, is that how you would just apply it? Does that make any sense? Sorry.
It makes sense. I can answer that. Whenever I meet with any students or alumni, I always say to them, you make the degree. It doesn't make you. So just having the degree alone, it's a qualifier for job opportunities, definitely. And the education is important, and it's relevant to kind of building your foundation. However, it's the experiences that you pursue, whether they're part-time jobs, group projects, any community work that you do, internships, all of those things are the stories that you're going to be sharing with an employer. So it's important not only to have that education as a foundation, but also to add value to how you've made an impact in a variety of different roles that could be any of those that I mentioned, that are going to speak to that employer that you, and here's the thing, it's kind of like your product going out to market. You have to do this research and development and figure out what you do like and what you don't like. And so part of those experiences could create really a niche area for you, but it could also shed a light on something that you're like, gosh, I really don't enjoy doing that. And I really want to focus on something else. So hopefully that helps kind of answer your question. And I don't want to just use the term it depends, because I think that just generalizes the whole experience. But I think it's important for you to know that you're in the driving seat. So the things that you end up pursuing are going to be exactly the skills and kind of the results that you're sharing on your resume, on your cover letter, on your LinkedIn. And that's how people are going to know you as well, because networking is huge and we have such a great alumni base. But if you're known for a certain area, you're working with certain faculty and you've maybe did the job share program with a certain alumnus, they're going to know you for a certain area if that's like something that you're passionate about, and that could create opportunities for you that don't even exist today. That's the exciting thing about sustainability, is like a lot of opportunities, like even in this past year, they didn't exist 2 years ago, and just the growth has been exponential.
Yeah, that helps. Thank you.
And I know Julia mentioned too that good to probably even take 2 internships, right, Julia? You mentioned that. That way you can get an idea, dip your toes in the water, right?
Yeah, definitely. I really encourage doing internships, but also I felt the same way going into the sustainability program. I felt like it was really broad and I wasn't really sure with all the information that was given to me how I would actually end up finding a career path at the end of it. But one thing that's great about our college in general is that the degree, although will specify in like a Bachelor of Science of Sustainability, for example, you really have a lot of opportunity to customize it to what you're interested in. And so with whether that's through a minor, your related discipline, or the track that you choose, you will kind of find your area that you're really interested in. And you'll also realize how interconnected all of our sustainability issues and challenges are. And so you can kind of find your spot and go from there. But it's intimidating at first, but once you're in the program, I think you'll see how you can really make it your own.
I have a question along the same line.
Sure.
Particularly from Masha. How do you see the skills and information that you learn within the program being applicable to every part of the world? Do you have a lot of students who are working internationally after graduation?
Yeah, and I don't want to say like it depends by any means. The skills, like if you look at our curriculum, there's obviously certain competencies that we focus on. And when you have a selection of courses, the thing that I encourage students to do, if you're looking at a specific area within sustainability, look at those faculty and look at their bios, see where their experiences are, what their research currently is in, because that's going to be an influencer on you. And this is where I go back to having that driver's seat, if you will. Now, going internationally, there might be other needs. So it's really just a matter of understanding what are those needs in your area. I think about companies like Footprint. Footprint's a company here, their headquarters is in Gilbert, Arizona, but they have companies all over the globe, offices all over the globe. And they have different needs, but still their purpose is focused on creating sustainable packaging. And so I think it really just, it depends on like your local network. The good thing is we do have students all over. And that's where I tend to encourage whenever students are meeting with people that are doing work in the sustainability field, I encourage them to start doing informational interviews early and often, look at local businesses that do have a focus on sustainability and ask questions, just your own genuine curiosity. And the cool thing is, as a student, you can really capitalize on that title as student versus post-graduation. Then you're like, oh, I'm desperate for a job in sustainability. Well, as a student, you're just actually coming to them for their expertise and wanting to know what sustainability looks like in their day in the life of, and they're more willing to meet with you, but also could create a mentorship opportunity. Hopefully that's helpful in kind of understanding Like the growth is there. I think it's really specific to what your niche areas and what in your community, what those needs are. So you can align your curriculum or the courses that you're taking, any projects that you're doing specific to supporting those needs. And then that's what you become known as for, like as a subject matter expert of, and people start seeking you out.
Yes. Thank you.
That was really good. Thank you. And by your niche areas, you just kind of meant you just mean like the areas to suit you best, right? Sorry, I'm basically asking for the definition.
Yeah, because there are so many, because of how broad sustainability is. I've even had some students that align with specific SDGs, and they might say, these are my focus areas and this is how it works. But your niche area is really just kind of your brand, because of the fact that there is so many opportunities as it goes across disciplines when you're talking about sustainability itself. So understanding what that specific areas that you want to focus in related to sustainability, that's creating your niche, because people want to hire somebody that is more of a specialist than a generalist. That's
Right.
kind of creating that niche for you.
Thank you. And while you're all here, I kind of want to just put it out there, if anyone has heard from or knows a student that has combined like social work and sustainability somehow, like I would, if anyone would happen to have like contact information for someone, just anything like mental health and like sustainability related, that would be really awesome to hear from someone doing that or that has done that.
Our professor, Scott Croudier, would probably be a really good person to talk to. He specializes in a lot of happiness, and he is amazing. We could see if we can get your contact information, and we could try to see how we can get him in contact with you. He's wonderful to talk to, so I'm sure he would be happy to kind of speak to you more about that.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, for sure. Okay, well, really appreciate Julia coming and joining us as a student, and also the rest of the team. As mentioned before, we are resources here for our students, and we're really excited to have the opportunity to meet you virtually and to hear your questions. It's really exciting because we are the newest college here at ASU, and we are again wanting to push for that just and sustainable future for everyone here on this planet. And again, take our contact information and feel free, if you have like a question, maybe at 3 o'clock in the morning, you're like, oh, I forgot to ask that, feel free to shoot us an email or anything like that. So we're happy to have you, and have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You too.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.